guess you just want to back and forth, bounce off each other. You get one, I get one. Something like that.
Yeah, it works. Bounce off and just take notes or whatever.
Right, you want to start? You want me to start?
I can start. I feel like we didn't go over these together at all, so we're going to have a lot of magic.
Maybe.
No, I feel like this one should be on both of our lists. Devon A-Chain.
These are don'ts?
This is my don't.
Okay.
I'm with Devon A-Chain. The offense is horrendous. Regardless, there's nobody that looks great in that offense. The O-line has taken a hit. Greg Dulcich right now is getting the most love out of training camp, and the most reported his ADP has already skyrocketed. Greg Dulcich. So I'm leaning away from Devon A-Chain where his ADP sits. I'm not taking any risk with that offense.
Yeah,
I also believe, I think it's almost obvious that they're going to tank for Arch Manning at this point.
Maybe time out. They did just pay Malik Willis starting quarterback money. So
yeah, I mean, another load on the Devon A-Chain injury issues could come up, especially with the backpack he may have of the season, with nobody else able to score. But I don't know if anybody's going to score in Miami.
This is true. I agree. All right, I'll start at the top of the list, quarterback, and work my way down position-wise. The first quarterback on my list, a lot of people probably seen coming. I'm going Jalen Hurts as a massive don't this year. There's been a lot of reports in training camp that they're running a lot more of their offense under center, which I don't know how to feel yet for Jalen Hurts. I feel like they're going to get a lot back to the running game, get Saquon Barkley a lot more involved. He also lost A.J. Brown, who was a big target for him last year, but I'm just not a fan of Hurts at all. I think his biggest value he gives you in fantasy football is the tush-push touchdowns that he gets at the 1 yard line. Outside of that, his passing numbers are horrendous. He's a guy that teeters around that 3,000 yard mark every year, which is not great. Stays in the low 20s for passing touchdowns. His numbers are inflated because of rushing, but I think they put a hold on that this year. Teams have had a couple years now to play for the tush-push. It's going to be a lot harder to execute it than it was the last couple of years, in my opinion, at least I hope. And that Eagles offense last year was horrendous. I don't think they're going to be good this year. Obviously under a new offensive coordinator now, but I still don't think that changes much. I think Hurts' value is down big time, and I think this new offensive coordinator wants to get the ball in Saquon Barkley's hands as much as he can. So I think Hurts is a major fade in the fantasy quarterback. I think he's like QB3 or something, which is insane to me. So, not a fan.
I heard a lot more Sirianni play action reports.
Yeah.
Which, horrendous.
Yeah, not a fan.
I mean, you know how I already feel about Nick Sirianni. His play action is not good. I guess I'll keep it in the running back range. I have a lot of halfbacks on here, but that's fantasy football for you. One that I was heavy on last year, drafting. Now I'm seeing him as a bust. James Cook. Okay. Obviously, new target in DJ Moore. Josh Allen took 90% of the goal line touches from James Cook. James Cook's touchdowns came from 20-plus yards away.
Agreed.
I mean, I feel like their offense is going to be more pass action oriented now. Obviously, Joe Brady coming in. I think James Cook is going to have a down year for sure.
Okay. Bold take there from back-to-back years leading rusher.
Yeah.
My next quarterback, last quarterback on my don't list, may surprise some people, may not surprise some people. Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a massive don't this year, a massive stay away, for a couple of reasons. You just added Kenneth Walker. He's going to take a lot of touches. They want to run the ball way more than before, and Kenneth Walker is the best running back they've had in a long time. I think this is their best opportunity to do so. Patrick Mahomes is coming off an injury. There's a lot of reports that he will play week 1, but he's already came out to the media and talked about the mobility side of things and how he's going to try not to run as much this year just to halt the fact of getting injured. I think he still obviously has the threat in the pass game, but like I said, I think the run game is going to be way more involved. You have Justin Fields now. They're going to play at some point, whether that's QB options, QB runs, whatever it is. Even if he doesn't start, he will get touches, which is going to halt the running of Patrick Mahomes. I think that's what they brought in Fields to do, is to take that load off of Mahomes' legs, which is a huge factor in fantasy as well for Mahomes. He had quite a few rushing touchdowns last year. But the mobility, getting out of the pocket, making the crazy plays, I think is going to take a little bit of a tank too. Mahomes isn't old yet, but he's getting a little older. Coming off a serious injury he had, it's going to be rough. It's going to be scary for him. It's going to be nerve-wracking at first. And I just think the offense relies a lot more on Kenneth Walker in the run game this year, not so much through the air. So I think Patrick Mahomes is a stay away this year with the potential of some of the other quarterbacks you can take.
Absolutely. He also, a lot of just name inflation because he is Patrick Mahomes. He's sitting around QB4 right now.
Yeah.
I go to my next running back. I'm going Bucky Irving for Tampa Bay. Obviously, you got Baker Mayfield in a contract year, recent dispute with Tampa Bay and their whole contract situation. Bucky Irving had 3 yards per carry the last 2 seasons. Gainwell was about to take all his receptions away. Bucky Irving had 0 carries within the 5-yard line last year.
Yeah, you know who did? Sean Tucker.
Exactly. And now you get Kenneth Gainwell, who had 73 receptions.
He was the Steelers team MVP last year.
Yeah. He had 73 receptions and 114 carries.
Yeah.
As a backup.
He's going to play a lot.
Yeah, he's about to take everything from Bucky Irving, touch-wise. He may even take rushes out of his hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming off a 3-yard per carry, Bucky Irving, who had 0 carries within the 5 yards.
It's going to be 3 running back tandem. Bucky, Sean Tucker, and Kenneth Gainwell. I agree.
And Bucky may have a 25% workload.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a hard stay away from as well. I have 2 running backs. They pain me to say because I love them both, but their situations are just rough. First off being, I got Love was big on last year, but it just scared me again this year. I'm going Travion Henderson as a stay away, and it sucks. I hate it, but just for a couple of reasons. Mike Vrabel has shown that he trusts Ramondre Stevenson so much more, even if Travion Henderson is by far the better player. Ramondre is going to be the starting back. He's going to get a bulk of the goal line touches. For Travion to get big points in the games, he's got to break off big runs, highlight plays, do crazy things, limited snaps that he gets. You also just added A.J. Brown. Drake May is the co-MVP, or, well, runner-up for MVP, sorry. And they're going to, are we good? They're going to try to pass a lot more this year, get A.J. Brown involved. You're going to put a lot more trust in Drake May after leading you to a Super Bowl. I think the run game isn't as huge this year, and I just think he continues to split carries with Ramondre. In a fantasy football setting, splitting carries is not what you want. So,
yeah.
Unfortunately, as much as I love Travion, I think he's a stay away from this year.
Hurts to hear.
Yeah.
Hurts to hear. I'll finish off my last running back. I'm going Derrick Henry. Obviously, the biggest thing with Derrick Henry is when does the fall off happen? He's of age. He's 32 years old now. Obviously, the offense has fluctuated all over in Baltimore. You don't know what they're going to run play to play. Lamar looks to be healthy. Obviously, they get the ball back a lot more. Last season, he was out for most of the season. But now, Derrick Henry is going to get more of the workload. How long is he going to hold up at 32 years old? How's that offense going to look now with the new offensive coordinator, head coach? So I'm leaning away from Derrick Henry with the AP right now.
All right. I'll speed through some of these. I still got a couple more. Next running back on my list. This one also pained me probably more than Travion Henderson, but the reports I've seen in training camp are scaring me away a lot. Next running back on my list is Jeremiah Love. I love him so much. I really do. And pun intended there. I'm a huge Jeremiah fan. But the situation worries me beyond belief. He is in a crowded running back room. Tyler Algier spoke to the media multiple times. He said they're splitting carries. They're almost at 50%. That they told Tyler Algier he was still going to play. And just because they drafted Love doesn't mean he was just going to sit the bench. The offensive coordinator came out and said some weird remarks about Jeremiah Love, calling him a rookie, like those weird remarks. Love's going to play, but I don't think he's top 5. I think he's almost running back 3 or 4 in fantasy drafts right now, which is crazy. I love it. I love him. He has the potential and the talent to be that, but he's going to be held back a lot this year. I don't think he's going to get the full workload. And I think Algier and who else did they have from last year? James Conner is coming back. He's going to play. I just think it's a very crowded room. If he comes out and gets 90% of the touches, I'll be wrong. So be it. But I don't see that happening. I think he's going to play 30-40% snaps, if that, in some games. And his value, fantasy-wise, is just not going to be great. There's just too many mouths to feed. Next running back on my list, and I have two receivers and a tight end quickly. Kyron Williams. Sean McVay's talked about it. He loves Blake Corum. Blake Corum is increasing. He got more touches as the years have gone on. Last year, towards the end of the year, they were almost splitting carries. Kyron Williams is great. He's fantastic, but I think Sean McVay wants to take a little bit of that load off of him. I don't think he's going to be a bell cow back. I don't think he's going to be an every down back. I think Blake Corum will, in some games, probably out-touch him. So I think he's just a guy you fade this year. There's a lot better options. Two wide receivers. First, this pains me. I almost put him on the other side of this list, but I'm just scared. Justin Jefferson. I think he's a stay away from. I think Kyler Murray should start. He gives you better value than J.J. McCarthy did, but I still don't think Kyler Murray is a great quarterback. I think that offense is weird. There's a lot of good pieces. Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. These guys are going to touch the ball. We've seen Jettis have somewhat of a down year last year. Even when they were trying to force feed him the ball, I just don't think he gives you as much value for his ADP as some of these other receivers do. Romo Dunze. I think there's a lot of talk around that Bears organization where there's a lot of people that they love. And right, Dunze's not at the top of that list. Luther Burden is going to take a huge step forward this year. Colson Loveland is going to take an even bigger step forward this year than he did last year. You got DeAndre Swift, Kyle Guy with a run-heavy coach, Ben Johnson. I think Odunze's touches go down. I think Luther Burden becomes wide receiver 1 by the end of the year. And I think that run game gets pounded to death. I think Ben Johnson loves to run the ball. He has one of the better 1-2 punches in the league. And I think Odunze is just not going to get a lot of touches. And to close out my don'ts, this one's kind of obvious. I'm going Kyle Pitts. It's my tight end to stay away from. It's Kyle Pitts year every year, people think. But the quarterback situation is absolutely horrendous. Tua turn the ball over. And Michael Penix, if he can stay healthy, most suck. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, who are great pieces. If they stay healthy, I just don't trust Tua. And
so a 101 takeout.
Yeah, right.
I also had a wide receiver left in my bust. That's CeeDee Lamb. Sitting in the top 3, sometimes top 4 wide receiver range. I know he went down for a short period last season, but you still had George Pickens willing to take over the wide receiver load. CeeDee Lamb basically took a backseat multiple weeks. Didn't even have touches towards the red zone. Pickens is ready to feed once again. I'm not willing to risk any first-round pick on CeeDee Lamb when you have George Pickens still there.
What does he call it? The GOTI? Greatest offense in the
Dak
league.
Prescott's new goatee.
Yeah, insane. But yeah, those are our don'ts. All right, let me slide things over to some guys that you want to draft, some guys you can get in good spots. And I have 7 on this list. So, how many you got?
6 or 7.
Okay.
Technically, yeah.
Right. I said you start since I just kind of rambled for a minute on those guys.
You just mentioned this name. He was my first sleeper. He's sitting around 42nd overall. Luther Burden.
Yeah, he's on my list too.
DJ Moore had 85 targets and 6 touchdowns last season in that Chicago offense. That's going to be split up for Luther Burden. And as you said,
Colson
Loveland, yeah. Obviously, huge pieces for that new offense. They're continuing to grow, and I think Luther Burden is going to take a huge step forward without DJ Moore.
I love it. All right, I'm starting things top of my list with my quarterback. I kept them in order, and this may be a bias take, but it's also a beautiful, just smart pick. Tyler Shuck is way too low on his quarterback ranking. Shout out Crom, my boy. Yes, sir. I didn't even see you in the chat. My fault, bro. I was on my phone. Yes, sir. Cleaned up, my boy. That's all it is. Tyler Shuck, way too low on these quarterback ranking lists. The year he had last year to close out the year was insane. He has so much potential, and the offense is so much better. I will preach it till the end of time. Not only do we still have Chris Olave fresh off of an extension, we brought in one of the best rookie wide receivers in Jordan Tyson. We brought in Travis Etienne to pair back with Alvin Kamara, ready to go. This offense had all the potential in the world. Kellen Moore at the helm, who's an offensive-minded guy. We believe in Shuck beyond belief, and the ball is in his hands this year. This is his team. He's our leader. He's our quarterback. We're going to sling the rock. We're going to put it in Shuck's hands. He's mobile. He can He had multiple rushing touchdowns last year, and he could put the ball wherever it needs to be. I think Chuck is going to be a starting fantasy quarterback on a lot of teams this year by the end of the year. I think he's going undrafted in some leagues, which is insane to me.
Crazy work.
All right, back to you.
I'm going to go my next wide receiver. I'm going DJ Moore at wide receiver 28, about 62nd overall. He's with his old offensive coordinator where he had his best season in Carolina. He now gets to team up with Josh Allen, the best quarterback he's had. He's still 29 years old. I think the offense is going to circulate around DJ Moore completely. Dalton Kincaid and all these other players projected to have down years. I think Josh Allen and DJ Moore are going to have a beautiful connection. There's already great reports coming out of camp. I think DJ Moore is a steal at the 62nd overall.
I love it. Okay, next on my list, I have two running backs. First one being Bayshaw Tootin. I think he should be on so many draft rising boards this season. With the departure of Travis Etienne, Bayshaw Tootin is RB1. Yes, they signed Chris Rodriguez, but for one, he's dealing with an injury. He hasn't practiced much at all this training camp. And all of Liam Cohen and all these other coaches through the first week of OTAs and training camp said Bayshaw Tootin was the most impressive guy on the field. He was taking a lot of touches from Etienne last year, which is part of the reason why he left. JJ Bleday off of Paul Schemes, by the way. But Bayshaw Tootin is good. He has so much talent. The Jags love him, and this is his time to take over. No more Etienne. Chris Rodriguez is not that great. He will be a backup running back, but I think Tootin takes 75-80% of the carries. I think he's their go-to back in most situations. And with the offense, the way the offense looked last year, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for Bayshaw. I think he's a massive steal for going in these drafts right now.
I love that.
He's an RB1.
Going over to my next, you could say two wide receivers here. First one is sitting around wide receiver 30, and that's Carnell Tate for possible wide receiver 1 value. I think he's going to be a beautiful target for Cam Ward. We saw last season that Cam Ward had the potential to be even better than what he was, but 90% of his targets were drops. You saw his own father up in the stands frustrated. You get a dog like Carnell Tate, who's already been having highlight tapes in training camp. I think he's going to break out season. Another player you could target with that offense is Wan'Dale Robinson. He gets a reunion with Brian Daboll. I think he has a chance as well to have some spark.
Beautiful. The number 4 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's going to get his touches.
And one more running back before we get to receivers. My running backs may surprise a couple people. I'm going to Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is going very low in drafts. Right now, I think almost 7th, 8th round in some drafts, maybe even lower than that. And there's no more Rico Dowdle. This guy played over Rico Dowdle at some points last year when Rico Dowdle looked like the best back in the league. Chuba Hubbard is a guy they paid, a guy they believe in, and a guy they trust. And when he's healthy, he's getting fed the ball, he puts up numbers. His backups, Jonathan Brooks, who has yet to play an NFL snap, has dealt with injuries the 3 years he's been in the league. And Trevor Etienne. Neither of these guys are crazy prospects, crazy running backs that can take this role. If a guy that's putting up over 200 scrimmages a game for multiple weeks in a row can't take his spot, I don't know one of these rookies are.
No.
I think Chuba Hubbard comes back. He's the bell cow back again, back in Carolina. And to take some pressure off Bryce Young and Tyrell Millen, they're going to pound the rock. I think if Chuba gets the touches he did 2 years ago, he can come back in RB1 territory.
Hey, we've seen Bryce Young beat Bryce Young and have his struggles. Like you said, Rico Dowdle was the best running back for weak stretches at a time, and Chuba Hubbard was still RB1 for whoever had any kind of input. Mm-hmm. So I think he'll have another great season, being the only bell cow back.
Yep.
I'm going to go over to running backs now. I'm going to start in it with Quinshon Judkins. He's almost down to the 60th pick. He's healthy. The reports out of camp are that he's cutting great. He's moving great. It wasn't an ACL injury. This is something he can come back from without bigger worries of falling off or not being able to get back up to speed. We know it's Cleveland. There's QB question marks. There's wide receiver question marks. That gives us more faith in someone like Quinshon Judkins, who we saw have a beautiful rookie season, be able to be a bell cow back in Cleveland and have a breakout season again.
Absolutely. All right, I'm on to receivers now. And this is a guy that I've talked about plenty of times. I just had to get to the receiver group. It's Devontae Smith. He's my number one draft this year. I think he's prime. I've said it multiple times, prime for a JSN breakout.
Center flip.
Yeah. As much as I hate Jalen Hurts, I think he does pass the ball. Other than Dallas Goedert and maybe Kyle Lemon if he plays well, who are you going to get the ball to? Hollywood Brown's not that great anymore in his career. He's a speedster down the field guy. Devontae Smith in training camp, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper Jean have praised him so much, who are two really good corners in this league. Saying everything he does is just beautiful. Devontae Smith is wide receiver one, no doubt. He's going to get fed the rock with no A.J. Brown now, no one to complain about it. When the ball's not in Saquon's hands, it's going to be in Devontae Smith's hands. And I think he could put up 110, 115 receptions this year, 1,400 yards, double-digit touchdowns. I think he's primed for maybe even an Opoy season. I think he's going to be great this year. Love Devontae. He's my wide receiver one in multiple leagues.
Absolutely. We got the clip. Check our socials.
Facts.
My next running back, personal bias here, but he's all the way down at running back 31, Rico Dowdle. He gets his Mike McCarthy reunion in Pittsburgh. A lot of people are picturing him as a backup back. Kenneth Gainwell is off of our offense, who had 114 carries and 73 receptions in the exact same offense. He may not replicate those exact same numbers, but even if he gets half of that with this offensive usage, I think he's going to find the end zone most of the time. Jalen Warren isn't our end zone back. Rico Dowdle is going to have so many opportunities in the pass-catching area to also score. I think running back 31 is disrespectful for a player like Rico Dowdle.
I agree. All right, next on my list is Luke Burden. You already covered that. Another sneaky receiver on my list this year that may surprise some people. Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden is primed for a good season. No more Romeo Dobbs. Obviously, still have Christian Watson injury prone in his career. But one thing Jordan Love does is spread the ball around. And to get a guy with Matthew Golden's over-the-top speed involved in this offense is a must. Matthew Golden has to be wide receiver one, wide receiver two this year with no more Dobbs. We know Dontavian Wicks isn't all that great. Yes, Tucker Kraft's back, but coming off a serious injury. Who knows how much they push him to be in the season. And if Matthew Golden can have a good couple of games to start the year, they're going to get him more involved as the season goes along.
For sure.
I think Golden could be a player that could do a lot. He can run jet sweep, he can run screen, bubble screens, quick slams, drag routes, go routes. He can do everything. This guy's got insane speed, insane route running, really good hands. He just wasn't used much last year. I think if LaFleur can get Golden rolling in this offense and getting touches, they're going to see what he can do. And he can very quickly become wide receiver one in a very weird wide receiver room over in Green Bay, but no real standout guy.
Absolutely. I think he has a lot of offensive opportunity to get that ball moving.
100%. I have one more after you.
I got to mention tight end, of course, sitting at 111 overall. Tight end 21, Isaiah Likely. Neighbors obviously hurt to start the season. Wandale Robinson's gone. He got a huge contract. He was top 5 offense without Mark Andrews and the Ravens last season. Obviously, last season they were super run heavy. Lamar was injured. The Lord didn't get over to Isaiah Likely's way, so his all the name value kind of fell off all the way down to 111, tight end 21. Someone like Isaiah Likely who gets to be a number one target in this offense. They're slotting him as a receiver in training camp, expected to be just a big body usage receiver. Someone like Isaiah Likely to not be log jam behind Mark Andrews. I think he's going to be a top 5 fighter.
I love that, yeah. I mean, he was great for the Ravens last year.
He was top 5 tight ends anytime Mark Andrews wasn't in the offense.
Yeah. And with unless Malik comes back with no wide receiver one, really, in New York, he could take over. I love
Jackson Dart's going to need somewhere to lean.
Now, this last pick is also a tight end, but I think it's more not really crazy steal value. He's going to go pretty high in drafts, but I had to go Colson Loveland. This dude was
don't miss out again.
An insane breakout last year with Caleb Williams. He became almost his favorite target at some points in the season. And very limited play to start the year last year, taking snaps like Cole Kmet. He still managed to be a top 5 tight end in yards and receptions. This kid's fantastic. He's got such a bright future ahead of him. Caleb Williams loves him. And Johnson loves him. There's no reason to be the number 1 guy this year. If Luther Burden doesn't take off, I think he gets more touches and more targets than Rome Odunze. Depending on how Luther Burden plays, he might out-target Luther Burden. Colson Loveland's going to be a massive part of the offense. He's going to take all tight end snaps. I think Cole Kmet might be out of the offense at this point. I think he has the potential to be 7-1 if Trey McBride doesn't have another insane season.
No, I love this. This is, I mean, kind of like I said, so don't mess up again. Don't miss out on Colson Loveland if he's available. DJ Moore had 85 targets and 6 touchdowns. Those are going to be spread out.
Yep.
The Chicago offense is already expected to take another leap, as great as they were last season. They're all coming back healthy and motivated. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that your last one, or did you have any?
I think that was all of them.
All right, we'll quick down back on those. We'll start with the don'ts, my don'ts. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Travion Henderson, Jeremiah Love, Kyron Williams, Justin Jefferson, Romo Dunze, and Kyle Pitts.
Mine were Devon Achane, James Cook, Derrick Henry, C. Lane, Bucky Irving, also Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely. And my dues, drafts, steals were Tyler Shuck, Bishaw Tootin, Chuba Hubbard, Devontae Smith, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden, Colston Loveland.
I as well had Luther Burden, Quinshawn Judkins, Cornell Tate, Rico Dowdle, Isaiah Likely, and DJ Moore.
Beautiful. There is Travis and John Show's official steals and don'ts, I guess, of the
Sleepers and busts.
Yeah, there you go. The 2024 fantasy or 2026. Wow.
Dude, don't win, lose.
Yeah.
Sleepers and busts.
Bags.
Win your fantasy league and watch Travis and John Show Fantasy Draft.
Bags.